Can Welcome to Mixtape Monday. This is where I answer questions that you guys have asked in the chat. If it's your first time here, I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. And this is my fun channel. So I did a breaking psychic news this morning because Meghan Markle had to show up like the bad rash that she is at Fashion Week and make a spectacle out of herself. We will talk in a separate video about the drive-by that she did, the feet on the seat, the stupid face, the excessive highlighter. What else can we talk about? It's unbelievable. The poor taste and bad manners of this individual are unbelievable. So welcome again. I'm Annabelle. It's my channel, Fortune Cookies Tarot, where I answer questions that you ask. So a little bit of housekeeping. So I had a great sale over the last few days. I did 20 for 20. Lots of you took advantage of it. I appreciate that. You guys are the fun that I get to do all day long. You all make my job awesome. I did want to let you guys know the text message and WhatsApp readings that I do. They are available 7 days a week. I try and take Sunday and Monday off for content, but the text message readings are available all the time. If you book one, I will do the reading just about at that time and then send over the results from it. So if you have a quick question, take advantage of those text message and WhatsApp readings. They're super, super easy to do. I am also diligently working on the website, and I do have my tarot book on the major arcana. It is storytelling. It's called the Illustrated Tarot. It is the Fool Throws a Party. So I am a big believer in teaching through storytelling. This is a way that I tell the story of the Fool, which is sometimes it evades people when they first start reading tarot, when they start doing cartomancy. Sometimes that evades people. So I tried to make it a nice little story so you got a real good idea of how the Fool progresses through the major arcana. There will be more books. I will have the minor arcana and I will have the court cards as well. So coming soon. And in the book, it is illustrated. You will also get to see the tarot deck that I am building. I don't know if I'm going to make it for sale. You guys let me know if you are interested. And I'll be doing a big premiere when the book is fully available. It's going to be digital download. I do think that you can purchase it in paperback and hardcover, but I've got to set those up as well. So coming soon. The website is coming along great. Just a few minor tweaks before I do launch it. Probably before the end of this week, I will have it launched. So we'll have a section where you can get all of the resources that I recommend, the books, the decks, all the fun stuff. We'll have some of my friends featured on there, some other people that are in the industry. I want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. And any events and things that are planned, I'm going to try and have a calendar page where you can follow all that as well. So there's lots and lots going on. I apologize for the dearth of content last week. I really was super, super wiped out. I remain super wiped out. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's because of the 20-pound weight loss or if it's because I am just old and tired. But you guys let me know. You guys let me know. You do a little psychic read on me and let me know what you think of me. But so let's giddy up, buttercups. We are going to be using the Sleepy Hollow deck today, and I'm going to be answering your questions that are in the chat. So thank you so much for being here. I have some goodies coming from Otter Spirit. We're going to be talking about Otter Spirit later on this week when I get my Halloween bracelets from them, but I am sporting lots of different stacks here today. So if you want, there is a link down below. You can save 20% with Fortune 20. You can save 30% off $99 or more with Fortune 30. I'm telling you, I don't feel right unless I have my Otter Spirit bracelets on, especially this Moonstone one. The Moonstone is one of my favorite stones ever, but they have all genuine crystals. They are of the highest quality and they're absolutely beautiful. The return policy is fantastic as well if you get something that you don't necessarily like, but they do support the otters in Monterey Bay. So super, super important to have some kind of mission with your product. So I am loving my relationship with them. The gals over there, you guys are awesome. They take care of me, and I just think it's a great company to work with. So let's get started. Let's start talking about some questions. I am going to pull up that card view. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in. And Trevor or Gigi may make an appearance. I also have Madame Pusheen down here. She is hanging out. Oh, she's right here. Hi, Pushini. Hello, Miss Pushini. As I build out the new studio in the next room, I think I'm going to build some space for my kitty cats. And here she is, Madame Pusheen. Madame Pusheen is a rescue from Kuwait. She is a British short hair. And our rescue lady told me, once you get a British short hair, you will never want another cat. She was kind of right. I love this British short hair. She is beautiful. So one question that I'm going to take a pass on. Somebody asked if I could do a reading on Erica Kirk, and out of respect for what she's going through, it's not even a month since she lost her husband. I am going to pass on readings about her. I know there was some speculation that she was pregnant, and I just think that privacy for her right now is paramount. So apologies, I'm not going to do a reading on that. Maybe in the future, we'll do a Yellow Brick Road reading on her, but right now she's got her hands full. She's running Turning Point, and she's got two young children. So and a broken heart. I want to make sure. And if anyone wants to ask about conspiracy readings on Charlie Kirk, and what had happened to him, that was one of the first things when I started to hear the conspiracy theories. I sat down and I talked to Greg. Greg is an excellent marksman given his former profession. And he said, no, it didn't come from behind. It just wasn't that kind of a situation. So I don't think that there's any conspiracy to that. And I'm not going to start to unwrap that thing. So, but I will absolutely talk about Lori Loughlin and her husband Massimo's split. I love Lori Loughlin. I liked her when she was on Full House, and I liked her even more in Amityville 3D. If you haven't seen that movie, she was in Amityville 3D, and I thought it was fantastic. I loved that movie. But what is going on with this split? I've got Glass Eyes wants to know, what is the reason for this split? So many people splitting up. Seven of Cups and the Moon. Oh, they're going to keep it quiet, guys. King of Cups underneath. King of Cups. Emperor. Woo! Card flying away. Page of Swords. There we go. And the Seven of Pentacles. So Lori Loughlin and her husband Massimo were embroiled in that pay-for-play college scandal. Felicity Huffman and William H. Macy were involved in it as well. And honestly, Greg and I talked about it, and as we have one in college and one going to college. And there are college coaches that will help you along. You can take courses, take your SATs, those kinds of things. Apparently, these kids were actually sat in a room where somebody actually took the SATs with them and, really kind of got them into the schools that they wanted them to. I do not condemn them for that. I don't, because some people will use the brains that they have, and some people will use the money that they have. So I think they made an effort to carve out an academic career for their kids. Now, I have one child who is a profound academic. I have one that is a very lucky academic. My son doesn't really need to attend classes. If he looks at the syllabus, he knows what is expected of the class. He can take the tests and not go to classes. Not the best way to learn. My daughter is much more academic and likes to actually study those kinds of things. So I don't blame them. This situation with their divorce is completely dubious and distinct from it. I do think that Massimo is a solo operator to a certain extent. I think he has gotten more and more in the solo operations of life, and he just hasn't been functioning as a couple for some time. These sevens are both in reverse. And I beg your pardon. This is an eight of cups. I am so sorry. But the seven here. So we're unstable here with the eight of cups. Not quite sure if we are moving forward in a traditional divorce. Let's put it that way. And here, not quite sure how everything is going to suss out. I do think that he wants out, but is not vicious about it. I don't think that he is being mean. I think it's just, hey, it's time to split up. Like we've done this long enough. They've been married almost 30 years. I think it was 28 years I read. What is the reason for it? What is the reason for it? Justice in reverse. Is it a midlife crisis? Is it, I just want to not be held accountable for someone else's wants, likes, dislikes. I don't want to compromise anymore. Yeah. I just want to do what I want to do. I remember my daughter was a toddler, and she said that when I was disciplining her for something. I was telling her, no, you can't do that. I don't know what she was doing. And she actually said to me, but I want to do what I want to do. And I was like, well, you can do that when you're grown, but you can't do it now. I'm not going to let you put a fork in an electrical socket. Yeah. And I like, when I say I was disciplining her, I was just telling her she was not allowed to do the thing that she was doing. I can't remember what it was. It was a long time ago. She's fully grown woman at this point. So, I think that Massimo just kind of wants to do his own thing now. He doesn't want to have to say, do you want to go to Aruba, or do you want to go to Fiji? Where are we vacationing this year? Like, I just think he just wants to be responsible for his own likes, dislikes, and places that he goes. Are they going to get divorced? Because I'm getting the sense that I don't think that they're actually going to get divorced. I think they're going to do something a little bit different. Are they actually going to no, they're going to split. They're going to split. I think the divorce is going to take a little bit of time. I do think we're going to hear some things about it. We may get some rumblings. I think they're going to have a judge make some decisions on some things there. I don't think they'll be able to make those decisions themselves. So how's Lori feeling right now? How's Lori Loughlin feeling right now? She's so pretty. She really is. Like that is what I wish I looked like. Lori Loughlin, absolutely what I wish I looked like. Well, she's upset. I think she is getting her ducks in a row, and she's got a pretty tough attorney here. So getting those ducks in a row. She absolutely wants a nice big bite of the pie. A big bite. She is pissed that we're splitting up the whole family and the family home. She is not very happy about that, and I can't blame her. You know, when you've lived in a place for a certain amount of time, whether it's, 5 years, 10 years, depending on how much effort you've put in, if you anticipate that being a more or less permanent home, you don't want to dismantle it. And I think that is part of it. And I think she's trying to figure out if there's any way she can stay there, stay in the family home, maintain that family home. My advice to her is I think it's better for a fresh start. There is a cute little house that has a lot of pink accents on it. And I think the pink is the flowers that are around the property. But there's a much smaller property that's going to be better for her to restart. That'll be a temporary home, but it'll be a better place for her to kind of retreat and lick her wounds. Like, it'd be a very nice little recovery place for her. So not too worried about Massimo. So we're going to leave that at that. Great question. Thank you so much. And let's move on. So, Christina Scott. I love this question. What was Meghan Markle doing from 1994 to 1995? This is a very specific question. I have no idea. What was she doing from 1994 to 1995? Ace of Pentacles, not making any money. Kind of hanging up, trying to figure out where she was going to go, and realizing that, the kind of stardom that she wanted was not available to her. So she was going on go-sees and auditions and those kinds of things. I don't think that they were panning out the kind of response that she wanted. I think people were telling her, maybe you should do something different. Wheel of Fortune, doors were getting slammed in her face despite the ambition that was there. So I'm going to say, if this was cultivating a public or professional veneer, that she was being told, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. No, you're not a good fit. She's getting a lot of turn downs, guys. A lot of turn downs. Everyone was saying no to her at the time. So, Kristen, Christine Scott, I'm sorry, not Kristen Scott. That would have been weird. Christine, I don't know what the books say that she was doing, but I think that she was, busy trying to dig her heels in, and everyone was telling her no. Stardom was not something that was coming to the fore for her. So there it is. So much for that. Next question. Who is really helping Meghan Markle behind the scenes? So this is kind of curious. So the Sidley twins. I love the Sidley twins. I think they're very cute, and I think they're very smart, and I think that they are very conscientious in their research. So tip of the hat to you guys. And they were saying Marcus Anderson, because at one point Meghan was laughing. I don't know what she was laughing at. Some people said, I think Murky Meg said that a model, no, I'm going to take it back. I don't think Murky Meg said that. Someone said that someone slipped during the show and she was laughing. And then she turned to Marcus Anderson and he was like, cut it out. So is Marcus Anderson the boss of Meghan Markle? Is Marcus Anderson the boss of Meghan Markle? The Hermit, the Knight of Wands. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Goodness. Look at that. Look at that, kids. So Marcus Anderson is settling a score with certain circles. Is it the royal family? Let's find out. Who is he settling this score with? Yes. He tried to insert himself into the courtier and the court itself. And he wanted to be a part of that. Now, there's something a little bit dirty about him. And I don't mean like salacious and dirty, but there's something unseemly about him. And he never would have been in those circles because of that. Now, lots of people ask me, is he Andrew's son? Is he related to the Pentaveret? Is he involved in all these other things? I don't think that he is. I think that he is a guy who has really tried to climb up through association. And I think that he tried to get on the inside of royalty, but he's too nightclubby. He feels like Miami to me, even though he's English. And it has nothing to do with Soho House. He feels very Miami to me. Despite his knowledge, despite his ability, he still was not able to find any foothold in those royal circles. He just wants to get into the next drawing room. You guys know I've talked about this, the stately manor houses. They have a series of drawing rooms, and the higher up you are on the social scale, the further and further you get into those drawing rooms. So if you go to a stately manor and you just get to go into the first sitting room, guess what? You're on like the D list or the Z list. And I think Marcus Anderson was trying to get into those inner sanctums, and that's why it's called inner sanctum, getting into those sitting rooms further and further inside the stately manors. I think he was trying to do that, and he was thwarted. And I think partially he did try and do it through relationships as well, meaning intimate relationships. He is now using agents, and I'm going to say this, I don't think that Meghan Markle is the only one. I do think that he has other male agents that are working in grounds. So I hope that the royal family is doing a little bit of researching those background checks. He wants to be like Varys, the spider. He wants to have information. Information is currency for him. He can sell it, he can use it, he can enrich himself with it. He's not a blackmailer, but it is currency. And he does have relationships with organizations like tabloid media here in the United States, tabloid media in the United Kingdom, and elsewhere. I do think that there is a close connection with him with some German outlets. I'm going to say that. That is a little psychic intel. So, Marcus Anderson, is he Meghan's boss? Not really. He is utilizing certain assets, and he has other assets that he will be utilizing. Will we find this out? Will he ever be uncovered? The moon, he is well covered. The Hierophant. Hierophant in reverse, and the high priestess. So even the highest realms of the court system, the courtly system, are unable to uncover those ties to him. Pretty crafty here. So kind of impressed. Should we be impressed? I don't know. Maybe we should be impressed. Ah, yeah. Yeah. Hello, Gigi. Gigi just strolled on in. My beautiful girl. Want to come over? So this is a fun little question. I had to stop the camera for a minute because Raven came in here and chased my little Gigi. And then she yelled at Trevor Cat MC. Her and Trevor Cat have Raven and Trevor Cat have an interesting relationship. They like to posture. That's about it. They're all fur coat and no trousers. So interesting question from great one Julio. In relation to Prince Phillip, the late great Prince Phillip, what were his thoughts regarding the interaction between Donald Trump and Catherine, Princess of Wales? Fun little question. So let's see. Phillip, what do you got? What'd you think? What'd you think? What'd you think of the interactions between Catherine and Donald Trump? He wants her to keep her distance. Be coy, be fun. It's lovely to have conversations with him, but keep your distance under the surface. Don't give up anything. There we go. 6 of Pentacles. And the Fool seem coquettish and wild, not wild, but coquettish and careless. But in the meantime, don't proceed any further. And over here, Queen of Cups, keep him warm and fuzzy. Rub Donald Trump's feet. No, don't really rub Donald Trump's feet. That's crazy. But he does want her to continue to cultivate the relationship with the royal family. So very strategic, very interesting. Love that, Prince Phillip. Nice messages from beyond. So we have interesting question here. What was the real reason for Brittany Murphy's death? Lydia G. What was the real reason for Brittany Murphy's death? Let's get that girl in here. Five of Wands. There were many, many things at play in the home, kids. The Four of Wands is the home card. Three of Wands. Queen of Swords. Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Pentacles upright. I do think that the home was causing an issue for her. I do think that the home was causing an issue. There are lots of people that said there was toxic black mold in the house, all of those things. Was it avoidable, though? Five of Cups, the Devil, and the Six of Wands. This was an avoidable situation. Had they taken her, and I'm so sorry, because her mother is still alive. Had they gotten her to a doctor and out of the environment faster, I think that we would have had a different outcome. Her weight loss, was it because of the situation in the house? Wheel of Fortune. So 5 of Swords and then 6 of Swords in reverse. So I think, unfortunately, the nature of her industry had her weaken herself to the point where this other, chemical, natural or not chemical, but natural situation in the house caused, an accelerated issue with, um, what would have affected others. So, curiously enough, her spouse passed away as well from pneumonia. The same thing that I think is the answer to what took her out. So, true? Did her spouse pass away of the same thing? I don't think I think he was ill, but I don't think he did anything to prevent that process from happening to him. I don't think he took the precautions. I think he basically gave up after her, in a weakened state. So, did he push the envelope a little bit? I do think so, perhaps. That magician here, he had the throttle in his hand. He could have gone a little faster, he could have gone a little slower. So, I do think that is very interesting. So, Brittany Murphy, I think her weight loss was a, condition of being in the industry. I think the situation that was in the house kind of was exacerbated by the weight loss. She just wasn't strong enough to manage it. I don't think that there were any forces that came in and did it. Now, her husband, Simon, I do think that he was in a weakened state as well. And I think that he may have chosen to not accelerate himself in a direction of better health. That's what I'm saying. Oh, what else do we got? So, Harry, this is from Teresa. Does Harry have the Spencer gene? Is he a Spencer? Weird question. Yes. So, is he a little bit a Pats afflicted by it? 1, Knight of Wands. 2, 3. So, one of the things that he needs as a result of having this Spencer gene, and we can say what we will about people that are ADHD or a little bit scattered, unable to kind of manage themselves. I think that Harry is one of those guys that has great ideas and can't finish them unless he has someone there. Yeah, I shouldn't say has great ideas. He has the enthusiasm for an idea, um, is ready to roll up his sleeves and get in there, and then loses interest a little bit faster than others. He needs someone to see it through to the end. So if he were painting a picture, it would be undone. Someone would have to finish it for him. Let's see his classes because we know that kind of happened when he was at school. So I think that there is kind of an ADHD tendency in the Spencer gene that Harry is affected by. So it's not a bad thing. Like, I'm one of those. I have to have spreadsheets and timers and tasks that I have to finish every day. Just makes my life a lot easier with my neurodiversity. So there it is. There it is. There it is. So, good stuff. Good stuff here, guys. Not a condemnation, just an opinion, a tarot opinion. So, American Woman, how are you, darling? So, this is part of my founding fathers series. This was a question that was posed in there. And the question was, it was during the Payne versus Burke part 2, Radical Fire versus Pragmatic Empathy. I did an examination of some of our founding fathers, which I like. It's kind of a fun thing that I do every now and then. I still have to keep working on that. It was in response to Donald Trump being at the state dinner with the King and Princess of Wales, and Prince of Wales, and all those good people. So, question was posed: please do this from the perspective that we were sold out back to the crown not long after the Constitution was signed. And what did the founding fathers think of Donald J. Trump finally freeing us from the crown and finally implementing the republic? So, loaded question here. So, let's ask the question first. Has Donald Trump freed us from the crown? And are we truly a republic today, October 6th, 2025? Not yet, baby. Not yet. Have not been freed yet. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Queen of Swords. A little bit more consensus here at home. That's what we need. So I think the next cycle of elections, we have elections coming up. And hopefully New Jersey will make the right choice. We have long been a state that has been taxed to the max. So hopefully New Jersey is going to make some moves. I don't love the candidates. The last few gubernatorial elections. I haven't liked the candidates, but yeah, do what you do. I actually was at a party this weekend and was once again accused of being a Republican. I will say it loud. I will say it proud. I am a libertarian to the bone. I have very liberal views on social stuff, and I have very conservative views on fiscal stuff. And I think that we should work locally, not globally. I'm not a globalist at all. I like the village. I like helping people right here and now. So I think we need more consensus. We need more people to come together and say, hey, we've got to stand up. We've got to implement the republic and move forward. So will we be seeing this anytime soon? 7 of Cups, King of Wands, and the Emperor. One of the things that I think has to happen before we get a true consensus here in the United States is I unfortunately think that Donald Trump has to be not in office. He is a divisive character. There are too many people that feel too many ways about him as a leader. So we are not able to bring the the republic, the union together until he is out of office. This isn't a condemnation of him, but it is an editorial on the political opinions that stand at this moment. Do we need a Gen X president? We absolutely do. Are we going to get one? Probably not, because us Gen Xers, we are annoyed and we've been working since we were 13. So back off, man. Get off our grass. But no, we do need a Gen X, libertarian kind of leadership here in the United States. I don't think that we're going to get it though. I think like JD Vance is not. He's more of a millennial. I just don't think that we've got anybody lined up for this. So, let's see what shakes out after, post Charlie Kirk assassination. We've got Scott Pressler for the Republicans going out there, and he is signing people up and registering voters. He's doing a hell of a job. He's going to be here in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania a great deal between now and the election. So, we'll see what comes out of this. We can't be quite this extreme anymore in the United States. We need to get a more tempered kind of response. So only then will we bring back kind of the Camelot of Kennedy. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on this. What else do we got, guys? What else do we have? Blake and Taylor. Blake Lively and Taylor Swift. Let's talk about those ladies. So, allegedly, the text messages are a game changer for the Justin situation. So what would those text messages show us? Let's see it right here. What are those text messages going to show us? What will they show us? This is between Blake and Taylor Swift. What did Blake say about Justin Baldoni? He is a snake, but I can't say anything about it. And Taylor says, you can't announce anything like that. You have to keep this quiet. It's going to cause issues. Blake responds, I want to take him down. I want to remove his star. I want to remove his future. Taylor says, if you do that, it's going to be a rough climb. I don't think you should do it. You're going to be seen as chaotic and nasty pants. Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups, both in reverse. What do I care? I'm infallible. I want to go for him. Taylor Swift says, you run the risk of cutting yourself off from the rest of celebridom. You run the risk of doing that. And Blake says, I don't care. I'm good to go. I'm good to go. I don't care. My fans love me. They are good to go with me. And Taylor Swift says, well, you can do that, but you have to understand that you got to keep the wheels turning. You got to keep the money in. So what did Blake say privately about Taylor Swift in regard to this kind of conversation? I think Taylor Swift was giving her pretty good advice there. Privately, Blake said, I'm going to lock it up for now. I'm going to hang on to it. But I really want to see this guy get taken down because I don't want to see him do anything in the future. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. And I hope he is broke for the rest of his life. Taylor Swift privately about this conversation as well. She better keep this stuff under wraps because it's going to wreck her future with Hollywood and the powers that be. What else? I got to distance myself from her because if she does that, I need to look at my star in perpetuity. I'm perfectly happy and I'm willing to cut that gal out. So that's what I got on these two chickens, these two chickadees. That is illuminating. Not surprised. Not surprised. I don't think Taylor Swift makes foolish moves, and I don't think she burns bridges typically, professionally in the big sense. Like she's not going to burn a bridge, not counting Scooter Braun. We're not going to count him, but I don't think she randomly cuts people off. So Blake Lively, good luck with this.
She's just going to shake her off. Huh?
She's going to shake her off. So we are going to wrap it up with some advice for Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. Someone saw my 2025 Miley Cyrus predictions. We're going to start getting to work on those guys. Somebody saw that and asked for a 2026 update. So we will do a larger form of that, Aurora Conception 6903. But let's do a little itty bit right now. So Miley Cyrus, what is going on with you? And, we're going to follow this up, I think, with Dolly Parton, because Dolly Parton just had to postpone some things. And she is Miley Cyrus's godmother. Miley Cyrus Tower card with what? King of Cups. Oh boy. That is relationship stuff. The devil. Oh, Miley, what are you getting into? Miley is about, I don't know who she's dating, but she's about to get herself into some trouble. Relationship wise, her heart gets her in trouble a lot. So, the King of Cups, when he's in reverse, can be very lustful, especially with the devil there, because the devil has us doing things that we like, that feel good, that aren't necessarily good for us. So we definitely are going to be seeing her having some relationship wrangling. So that's coming up for her. Again, longer reading on her later. Liam Hemsworth, I don't know what he's doing. He is cute as a button, though. Cute as a button. Loved him in the Hunger Games. Liam Hemsworth, Page of Swords, and the Four of Cups, Sun in reverse. We're going to be seeing him in some more stuff. I don't know what he's up to. His work-life balance is terrible, though. It is not good. I do think that the Hemsworth boys play as hard as they work. I think they're an interesting lot there. But I do think he's burning the candle a little bit too much at both ends. If he is not in a relationship, he is spreading himself a little bit thin in terms of that. So he may have more than one honey that he is courting at the moment. So, but I do think that there's going to be more projects for him. There's something about him crafting roles for himself. So I don't know if he's taking a role and then kind of modifying what that character is going to do or how that character is going to behave. And having discussions with the producers on that or the directors saying, I don't think that the character would do this. So I think he is kind of rolling up his sleeves and giving a bit more information. As much as I would love for the Hemsworth boys to be himbos, they're really not. They're they do have some brains in there, but I don't think that all of Hollywood has gotten that message. I think they do kind of treat them like himbos. So advice for Liam Hemsworth right now in the short form, if you're dating a whole bunch of people or if you're kind of spreading yourself a little bit, then dial it back a little because it is going to exhaust you into the new year. So I want you to be a little bit careful about that. I like this sharpening of your skills, getting in there and giving more opinion about what you think your character would do or what you think the story would unfold with your character. I like that. I think that's a good thing right there. So let's take a little peek at Miss Dolly Parton. Who does not love Dolly Parton? I dare you to raise your hand. She is universally adored. If you have not heard, if you're too young for it, I Will Always Love You, the Whitney Houston song, written by Dolly Parton, and she sang it in the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Adorable. If you are in the United States or if you can get access to her chocolate cake mix, it is the best chocolate cake mix I have ever tried. I don't care. I usually make my cakes from scratch. There is like a full cup of melted butter in it instead of oil. So if you are anti-seed oils and pro butter, go get it, order it. It is the best cake mix. Had the vanilla cake mix for Gregtoberfest. I make a very special German coffee cake and requires a cake mix, making my life a little bit easier. And I use that. So Dolly Parton, what is going on? She had to postpone her Vegas residency because she's having some surgeries and she's adorable. She said it is not plastic surgery like I usually have. She's got to have something done. So what is going on with our girl? That's good stuff. That is good stuff right there. Wheel of Fortune. Things are looking good for her. But guys, I don't know if we're going to see that Vegas residency. I think she is, and she is of an age. She is really up there. I think it is time for her to kind of go into retirement. She did lose her spouse, who she was with for a bazillion years, not too far in the distant past. But I think she is going to not be performing as much as she wants to. I think she's going to take retirement from performing. And I think she will continue to be a social entertainment icon. I think we're not going to, she's not going to go into retirement where we don't hear from her. But I do think she is going to, at this moment, not proceed with that residency. I don't think she's able to do it. The residencies, they do require a great deal of work. It's a young person sport, even though it seems like bands and celebrities and showpieces will do that as kind of a quasi retirement. Britney Spears not included. But I think it's going to be too much for her. She may do a few shows. She may do like a small string of shows, but having a residency there for a number of dates, I don't think is going to be possible for her. I think she needs a little bit more time to heal up. So, what is my yellow brick road for Miss Dolly? Let's get a yellow brick road for her. Her path, Six of Swords. This isn't a good idea. The pressure. Does she need the money? I don't think she needs the money. I think Dollywood just closed. Yeah. The hidden hand is she really is restricted from what she's doing. Public face, she's still going to be public face. We're still going to see it. Private goal, she's got to transform. She's got to take it a little bit easier. And the likely pivot, I think we're going to see the end of her professional real working career. She may do little things here and there, but I think that's what we're going to see. Oh, that is unfortunate, but little prayer out there for Dolly Parton, little sweetheart there. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this mixtape Monday. I am going to be back on schedule this week. I look like a librarian in my juicy couture black label glasses, but I hope you guys are having a fantastic start to your week. Thank you so much. I will have some sales coming up for you. I do have the $99 sale, but I think I'm going to do a sale for the WhatsApp and text message questions. Again, those are offered 7 days a week. So you don't have to wait for me to be working. You can throw your question out and I will answer it as best I can, whether I am at a concert, cooking in my kitchen, resting in my bed, or running around to my car. I can answer those questions from anywhere. So, everybody, I hope you're having a great day. I will see you in the future.